Hey everybody, this is Chad from Stick's Blog. I'm Stick, and today I want to talk to you about another piece of hammock gear that I recently received. Now, some of you may remember the last post that I have on my blog here was about the hammock gear 20 degree Fahrenheit Phoenix underquilt with Cuban fiber. In that same shipment, I also got my top quilt came in with it. So today I want to take a minute and just kind of do a first look, first impression of my hammock gear top quilt that I got. Before I get into the top quilt, I just kind of want to say what I was looking for and why I was looking for it. What I was looking for was I wanted a very lightweight summer quilt. Our temperatures where I live and where I'm generally at hiking, it's nothing for it to be in the hundreds. The months of June through August particularly, it's very hot, and then even the months before and after June through August can be fairly warm, but it allows a lot of opportunity for still a summer weight quilt to be used, in my opinion. So what I was looking at was a lightweight summer weight quilt. Now, saying that, I will say that I already had a lightweight summer weight quilt, which happened to be a Go Light RS1 Plus season quilt. The quilt worked fine. My only hang up with it was the weight. And here in a little bit, whenever I take everything down and I weigh it, I'm going to go ahead and throw up the Go Light quilt just to kind of show you how much weight I actually save by changing out quilts. So I'll just kind of go ahead and show you. This is the hammock gear quilt that I decided to get. Now, on their website, they have a summer quilt and a 50 degree Fahrenheit Burrow. The biggest difference being between the two is the summer quilt is actually baffled, and I'm wanting to say that it uses, I'm not even going to quote it because I can't remember for sure. But anyway, the summer quilt is baffled, and I believe it is rated at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The 50 degree Fahrenheit top quilt is not baffled. It uses a stone through construction, and it comes stock with 5 ounces of down, 900 downfield down. Also, as far as stock, the 50 degree Fahrenheit quilt comes with 1.1 ounce nylon ripstop. And then, of course, in the drop box, you have option of adding more down overfill. It's $10 per extra ounce of down overfill that you would like. As well, you have the option of using a Velcro Closure for the foot box, or you can have snaps for the foot box. Now, saying all that, mine's just a little bit different from the stock version, and I'll kind of show you some of the things that are a little bit different about it whenever I get it out and lay it out. So anyway, I just want to show you a few things. Now, this is my Go Light quilt that I said I replaced. This is a 40 degree quilt according to Go Light, and it is a synthetic. It's the RS1 Plus season model quilt. This is the stock stuff sack that it comes in. And as you can see, that's about all I can get out of it compressed. This is the stock stuff sack that the hammock gear 50 degree Fahrenheit Burrow comes with, and as you can see, I can get it compressed down pretty good. Smaller than what I can with that. Now, saying that, I don't use these stuff sacks that come with them. I don't really like to compress my quilts or sleeping bags more than I have to. So what I choose to do is I use a do-it-yourself stuff sack that I made out of some seal nylon, and I even sealed up the edges with seam seal. Of course, it is a cinch closure, so it's not 100% waterproof, but if water ever gets in and sits in the bottom, it is waterproof down there. But anyway, I stuff my quilts, my sleeping bags and everything in this. I shove this directly down in the bottom of my backpack, and then I put the rest of my gear on top of it. That way it only compresses as much as it needs to. Plus, it allows the backpack to be filled, and I'm not really having to worry about cinching down everything and making the backpack really small if I don't have to. One other thing before I get down, I'll just show you a comparison. This is a 1 liter Nalgene bottle, and this is the hammock gear 50 degree Fahrenheit Burrow in the stock stuff sack. That's kind of hard to say. So anyway, that's that. So what I want to do real quick is I want to, like I say, I'm going to put it on my scales, and I'm going to talk about some of the weights and some of the features about the weights. And I'm also going to compare it to my Go Light quilt here to show you the big reason why I went from this to this. So give me a second, I'm going to get out of this thing, and I'll get them on the scales. Hang on. Okay, Now what I want to do is just talk a little bit about weights, but before I get into some of the details as to why my hammock gear top quilt weighs what it weighs, I just want to show you the difference in the weight between my Go Light synthetic RS1 Plus season quilt and the hammock gear quilt. Now both quilts I'm going to weigh with inside the supplied stuff sack, so you do have to take that into consideration. That there is the Go Light quilt, and you can see it comes in at 27.2 ounces inside the supplied stuff sack. And now I'll throw up the hammock gear top quilt, 50° Fahrenheit Burrow with the stuff sack. And you can see it comes in at 13.4 ounces. So obviously I cut just over half the weight off the Go Light quilt by going with the hammock gear quilt. That there is the reason that I decided that I wanted to change and not size or pack size. So a few things about the hammock gear quilt. I did choose to go with a different fabric than the stock, other than the stock 1.1 ounce nylon ripstop that Adam offers on the hammock gear site. What I decided to do is order some M90 through hiker.com. Through Hiker shipped it to Adam, and he made the top quilt out of the M90 rather than the 1.1. Obviously M90 at 0.9 ounces per square yard is lighter than the ripstop nylon at 1.1 ounces per square yard, but obviously it's not by much, so I didn't save a whole lot of weight there, but I did save a little bit. Now when I was thinking about this, I decided that I did want to try and use this top quilt to get me as close to 40° Fahrenheit as possible, just in case. So with that thought in mind, and also with the same thought in mind that I did just cut just a few ounces off by using a different lighter weight material, I decided to add 1 extra ounce of down. Now I understood that by doing this I would actually go a little bit more than what was listed on the website, because I knew that the material wouldn't knock off an ounce or more of the total weight. So what I ended up with is a 12.9 ounce 50° Fahrenheit Burrow top quilt made by Hammock Gear. To be honest with you, at 12.9 ounces, and I can't remember, the stuff sack is 0.5 ounces, the underquilt is 12.9, or the top quilt is 12.9 ounces. Together they're 13.4 ounces. But at 12.9 ounces, I'm super happy about this quilt. I mean, this thing is really super light. It's amazing. When I lay down and I throw it over me, it is so light that I can't even feel it on top of me. I mean, it really does. It feels like air. Unless I'm feeling the heat coming back to me from the down, sometimes I have to check to make sure that the quilt is pulled over my legs. So it really is amazing. It's an awesome quilt. I'm really happy with it so far. But anyway, just kind of wanted to throw those things out there. There are a few other small things that may have contributed a little extra weight, such as the Velcro Closure and some tabs on the sides for whenever I use this quilt on the ground. So what I'm going to do now real quick is I'm going to lay it out on the ground, and I'm going to kind of give you a walk around the quilt, just kind of show you how it cinches up the foot box and some of the options that I used, and all that good stuff. So hang on just a second, I'll get it laid out. So here is my Hammock Gear 50° Fahrenheit Burrow top quilt laid out. And the first thing that you're probably going to notice is that it's completely flat, and that is one thing that really drew my attention to this underquilt. I love the fact that I can completely open it up so that it can be draped over me completely. I like this because it will actually cover more area, in my opinion, as well as it will allow me to ventilate better in the warmer temperatures. Another thing I want to go ahead and point out real quick while I've got it all laid out here and before I start shuffling it around is I want to point out dimensions. Now on the website this thing is listed at being 50 inches long, or wide, 50 inches wide, I'm sorry, and I have a tape measure laid out in front here, and it is loose but it is accurate, and what I end up with, I'm not sure how well you can see that, is about 49 inches at the very top. Also, on my length, the length on the website is listed at 78 inches. I've got my tape measure here coming all the way down, and you can see I'm exactly 72 inches, and that is accurate because I can lay my Neo Air directly on top of this thing and it will go exactly from the top end to the bottom end. So my top quilt measures 49 inches wide at the head end and 72 inches long. I'm really not too concerned about the smaller dimensions because, like I said, I'm using this as a summer quilt, and even at 40 degrees Fahrenheit I feel like I'll be able to compensate with other items to keep me warm. So I'm not really worried about it. Plus, this thing, it really is amazing. I can't catch it on video, but there's actually quite a bit of loft. I haven't actually measured it. There's at least an inch of loft throughout this thing, because I mean it's just amazing. These baffles, they're kind of tight a little bit, but I tell you what, this thing is awesome. So real quick, I want to do is I just want to show you the different options, features in it. So hang on just a second. I'm going to focus this camera just a little better. Hang on. Okay, up here at the head end, he's got snaps on both ends. And what that allows it to do is I can take both ends and I can snap them together, and that forms a collar to go around my neck. So I put my neck through that opening there, and then here, right here, is a cinch cord in the middle, and it actually cinches the it'll cinch the head end around my shoulders and my neck, so it will keep drafts from escaping, coming out, you know, around my head and neck area, is all that's concerned. Also, another thing, I did get him to add me these little loops here. I've got 4 little loops. These are located, you can see, just a couple inches down from the head, maybe about 15 inches from the head. There's one located there, and then there's one located here, which is about in the middle of the quilt. I have one of those on each side, and I can just simply run a small piece of cord or a very lightweight shoot, my mind went blank. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. Just run them between them, it'll pull it together just like any other quilt does. For my foot box, a little bit of right here, I opted to use the Velcro, which you can see here's one side of the Velcro and there's the other side of the Velcro. The way this works, and it's really hard for me to do with just one hand. Okay, so what I've done here is I've cinched up the foot box with the Velcro closure, and there's a snap at the foot end here. As well, there's a draw cord in the middle of the foot end again. By pulling that, it draws up the bottom of the foot box. So now I've got my foot box. As you can see there, my foot box is all closed up. Now, one thing I want to talk about here for a second, I'm not really sure what happened. I decided to go for the Velcro simply because I like the idea that it completely sealed it up and it wasn't just snaps at random places, and it would make it easier for me, in my opinion, so that I wouldn't get my foot stuck in between the snaps. So I opted to go with the Velcro. I believe the Velcro ended up adding more weight than the snaps. I think that might be a possibility, but again, there's no way for me to tell for sure. One thing I did ask for, and I may have just said it confusingly and Adam didn't understand me, I'm not sure, but I was kind of wanting a snap right here so that I wouldn't accidentally pull this Velcro apart as I slept during the night. There is a snap at the foot end, so this is why I'm saying I'm not sure if Adam thought I was talking about down at this end or if this is just stock on their top quilts to just snap that bottom end so you could cinch it together closed. Not really sure about that. One other thing I want to point out about the Velcro, if I could change, I probably wouldn't do it again, simply because this Velcro, the edges, actually, I feel them on my legs at night when I'm trying to get my foot in there. I can feel these edges kind of scratching my legs, so I have to position my legs to where I can't really feel those edges. It's possible to do, but it is just a little bit annoying, and if I was to do it again, I would change it and I would make an opt for something else. But anyway, so there it is, the foot box closed up, top opened up. So anyway, that is my 50 degree Fahrenheit Burrow by Hammock Gear. If you have any comments or questions, just post them at the bottom of the post here, and I'll do my best to get back and answer them. And until then, I appreciate you for watching. And I want to say thanks to Adam and Jenny for making these awesome products. Like I say, this quilt's super light, and it's super comfy, and I really feel like it's gonna work out for me for what I'm needing it for.